Is something feeling a bit different lately? Maybe things aren't quite working the way they used to down there, leaving you feeling frustrated, maybe even a little worried. It's a common worry for many men as the years go by, and it's easy to put it down to just getting older. But sometimes, the truth is a little more surprising, and honestly, a bit painful to confront. What if I told you that something you might be doing regularly, perhaps even daily, is silently, slowly, undermining your ability to get and stay firm? It's something very personal, very private, and it involves a common activity many men engage in. As a surgeon who specializes in this area, I've seen firsthand the cumulative effect of this particular habit. And the good news is, once you understand it, you can start to turn things around. In this video, we're going to dive deep into this often overlooked mistake during masturbation that can seriously impact your erectile function. We'll talk about what it is, why it happens, and most importantly, what you can do about it. So, stick with me until the end, because what you learn might just surprise you and offer a path forward. Now, let's really get into the heart of this, shall we? What exactly is this mistake I'm talking about? This quiet undermining of your ability to get a reliable erection. It boils down to a specific pattern of stimulation, a certain technique that many men fall into over the years, often unknowingly. Think about it when you're younger. Things are usually pretty straightforward, right? Arousal happens easily, and the body responds vigorously. Over time, especially as natural processes slow a bit, men might find themselves seeking more direct, more intense stimulation to achieve the same level of arousal or satisfaction. This often leads to relying heavily on a very specific, usually high-pressure, high-friction technique that focuses on the shaft of the penis, often gripping quite tightly and moving very rapidly. This becomes the primary, perhaps even the only, way they stimulate themselves. Now, why is this a problem? Well, your penis is an incredibly complex and sensitive organ, filled with delicate nerve endings and blood vessels crucial for achieving an erection. These nerves are most concentrated in areas like the glans, the head, and the frenulum, the band of tissue underneath the glans. These are the areas designed to pick up the subtle, varied sensations that contribute to natural sexual arousal. The kind of arousal you experience during partnered sex, with kissing, touching, and different types of stimulation. When you exclusively or primarily use a high-pressure, high-friction technique on the shaft, you are effectively bypassing or desensitizing these more sensitive, naturally responsive areas. It's like turning up the volume on one instrument in an orchestra so loud that you can no longer hear the others at all. Over time, your brain and nervous system become conditioned to only respond to this very specific, intense type of stimulation. The subtle, varied touch that's typical in partnered intimacy simply isn't enough to trigger a full erectile response anymore, because the pathways for that kind of sensation have been neglected or even downregulated. Imagine the thousands of nerve endings in the glans. They are designed to pick up gentle touch, texture, temperature changes. When you constantly bombard the shaft with intense pressure and friction, these subtle signals from the glans become less relevant to the arousal process. Your system essentially learns to ignore them in favor of the louder signal from the shaft. Furthermore, the sustained high pressure can also impact the tiny blood vessels within the penis. While the tissues are somewhat resilient, constant, repetitive, intense pressure isn't what they're designed for in the long term. This can potentially contribute to microscopic damage or affect the vascular response over many years. Though the nerve desensitization and altered brain-body connection are often the primary culprits from this specific mistake, it's not just about the physical pressure, either. It's about the habit itself. If the only way you achieve arousal and climax is through this specific, high-intensity method, your brain starts to wire itself accordingly. During partnered sex, the stimulation is naturally different, varying pressures, speeds, angles, textures, plus the emotional and sensory input from your partner. If your brain has become fixated on that one intense signal from your solo habit, it struggles to translate the different, often gentler, signals from a partner into a full erection response. You might find yourself needing your partner to simulate your solo technique, which isn't always practical or desirable. Or worse, you find you can get fully hard on your own with your specific method, but not with a partner, leading to frustration, performance anxiety, and strain on relationships. This discrepancy is a classic sign that this desensitization is happening. So, the first crucial step is recognizing this pattern. Are you relying on a very specific, perhaps aggressive, shaft-focused technique? Do you find that more varied, gentler touch doesn't do the trick anymore? If so, you're likely experiencing the effects of this common mistake. The good news, as I mentioned, is that the body and brain are remarkably adaptable. It takes time and conscious effort, but you can begin to retrain your system. It's not about stopping masturbation altogether. It's about changing how you do it. It's about reintroducing variety, reducing intensity, and paying attention to the more sensitive areas. We'll talk more about how to make those changes and what else you can do to support this process in the next section. Because simply being aware of the problem is only the beginning of finding the solution. Carrying on from understanding the problem, the question naturally becomes, what can you actually do about this specific type of desensitization caused by repetitive, high-intensity stimulation? It's about retraining your nervous system, teaching your brain and body to respond to a wider range of sensations again, particularly those that are more typical of partnered intimacy. This process takes patience and consistency, but it's definitely achievable. The core strategy is to deliberately change your masturbation habits instead of defaulting to that familiar high-pressure shaft grip. Try incorporating different approaches. Experiment with varying the pressure. Use lighter touch, sometimes barely there, focusing on the glands and frenulum. Explore different textures. Maybe use a softer lubricant, or none at all for a different feel. Vary the speed and rhythm. Think of it less like a mechanical function to be completed as quickly and intensely as possible, and more like an exploration of sensation, like learning to appreciate the subtle notes in a piece of music instead of just focusing on the loudest drum beat. One practical step is to spend dedicated time just exploring the sensations of your penis without the goal of reaching orgasm immediately. Just touch, lightly stroke, feel the different textures and sensitivities, especially around the head and underneath. Pay attention to what kind of touch feels good. What kind of pressure feels good in these areas? This helps to re-establish the connection between your brain and these specific nerve endings. It's about mindful masturbation. If you like, being present with the sensations rather than just going through a routine. This can feel strange at first, especially if you're used to a quick, intense method. But it's a crucial part of recalibrating your sensitivity. You might find that initially, lighter touch doesn't feel very stimulating at all. This is normal and expected. It's a sign that the desensitization has occurred. The key is to persist. Over time, as you consistently introduce and focus on these different sensations, those neural pathways will start to strengthen again. Another important aspect is to vary the type of stimulation. If you've been using a dry hand, try a lubricant. If you've been using a very thick lubricant, try a thinner one, or even something water-based that dries out. Changing the sensation mid-session. If you've been using a tight grip, practice with a much looser grip, or even use both hands to distribute the pressure and movement differently. You can also try using different materials, maybe a soft cloth or a sex toy designed for more varied sensation, as long as it's used gently. The goal is to move away from that single, high-intensity stimulus and expose your nervous system to a broader spectrum of touch. This helps your brain understand that arousal can come from different sources and different kinds of touch, making you more responsive during partnered sex. It's also worth considering the frequency. If you are masturbating multiple times a day, or even every day with that specific intense technique, it gives your tissues and nervous system less time to recover and adapt. Reducing the frequency slightly, perhaps aiming for every other day or a few times a week, especially while you are actively trying to change your technique, can give your body a chance to reset and become more responsive to the new, varied methods you are introducing. It's not about deprivation. It's about creating the right conditions for your sensitivity to return. Think of it like giving a muscle time to heal and grow after a workout. Rest and recovery are just as important as the exercise itself. Furthermore, incorporating visualization and mental arousal can significantly help. Often, reliance on intense physical stimulation bypasses the mental component of arousal. When you are practicing these new, varied techniques, try to focus on erotic thoughts, fantasies, or memories that are mentally stimulating. This helps to integrate the physical sensations with the mental aspect of arousal, which is essential for natural, responsive erections, particularly in partnered settings. It's the combination of mental engagement and physical sensation that truly drives the erectile response. If you've become overly reliant on purely physical, intense stimulation, consciously bringing the mental element back into your solo practice can make a big difference in retraining your system for partnered intimacy. Making these changes requires conscious effort and a willingness to experiment. It might not feel as immediately powerful or lead to orgasm as quickly as your old habit. And that's okay. The goal isn't just a quick release. It's about long-term health and the ability to have reliable, natural erections in different situations. Be patient with yourself. This desensitization didn't happen overnight, and reversing it won't either. But by consistently practicing varied, gentler techniques, focusing on the more sensitive areas, varying pressure and texture, reducing frequency slightly if needed, and incorporating mental arousal, you are actively working to retrain your nervous system and improve your responsiveness. This is a fundamental step in addressing the negative impact of that specific common mistake. Moving on. While changing your solo habits is a powerful step, addressing the issue of desensitization and improving erectile function in the long run involves looking at the bigger picture of your health and lifestyle. Think of changing your masturbation technique as the direct repair work, and these other aspects as the essential foundation and ongoing maintenance for optimal performance. For men in their 60s and beyond, general health plays an increasingly critical role in erectile function. Issues like heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol are major contributors to erectile difficulties because they affect blood flow throughout the body, including to the penis. So, while fixing the desensitization is key, ignoring your overall health is like trying to fill a leaky bucket. Taking proactive steps regarding your diet is absolutely essential. Focusing on a heart-healthy diet is paramount, as what's good for your heart is good for your penis. This means lots of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats like those found in olive oil, nuts, and fish. Reducing your intake of processed foods, excessive sugar, unhealthy saturated and trans fats, and red meat can make a significant difference in blood flow and vascular health over time. Consider incorporating foods known to support circulation, like leafy greens rich in nitrates which the body converts to nitric oxide, a molecule that helps blood vessels relax and open, berries packed with antioxidants, and healthy fats like avocados and walnuts. Staying well hydrated is also important for overall circulation. Regular physical activity is another cornerstone. You don't need to run a marathon, but consistent, moderate exercise can dramatically improve blood flow and cardiovascular health. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate-intensity aerobic exercise per week, like brisk walking, swimming, or cycling. Strength training a couple of times a week is also beneficial for overall health and metabolism. Exercise helps manage weight, lowers blood pressure and cholesterol, improves insulin sensitivity crucial for preventing or managing diabetes, and boosts overall energy levels, all factors that positively impact erectile function. Even small amounts of daily activity add up. Taking the stairs instead of the elevator, going for a walk during your lunch break, or doing some light exercises while watching TV can make a difference. Find activities you enjoy so you're more likely to stick with them. Consistency is far more important than intensity here. Managing stress is also crucial. Chronic stress can wreak havoc on your body, including disrupting hormonal balance and increasing blood pressure, both of which can negatively affect erectile function. Find healthy ways to cope with stress, whether it's through mindfulness, meditation, yoga, hobbies, spending time in nature, or connecting with friends and loved ones. Prioritizing sleep is another vital, yet often overlooked, aspect of health. Poor sleep can disrupt hormone production, including testosterone, and negatively impact cardiovascular health and stress levels. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night. Establishing a regular sleep schedule and creating a relaxing bedtime routine can help improve sleep quality. Smoking is perhaps one of the worst things you can do for your vascular health and, consequently, your erectile function. If you smoke, quitting is the single best thing you can do to improve blood flow. It's challenging, but there are many resources available to help you quit. Excessive alcohol consumption can also impair erectile function, both in the short term and long term. Moderation is key. Finally, it's absolutely essential to have open conversations with your doctor. Erectile difficulties can be an early warning sign of underlying health conditions like heart disease or diabetes. Your doctor can help identify any contributing factors, manage existing health issues, and discuss potential medical treatments if needed. Don't feel embarrassed to bring it up. It's a common issue, and healthcare professionals are there to help you maintain your quality of life. They can also assess if any medications you are currently taking might be contributing to the issue and explore alternatives. Taking a comprehensive approach that includes changing your solo habits, improving your overall health through diet, exercise, stress management, and sleep, and working with your doctor provides the best possible chance for improving and maintaining healthy erectile function as you age. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge and taking control of the factors you can influence. So, let's pull this all together. We've talked about that specific, often unconscious, mistake during masturbation, the reliance on a singular, high-pressure, high-friction technique focused on the shaft, and how it can silently desensitize the more naturally responsive areas of your penis, making it harder to achieve and maintain erections, especially during partnered intimacy. This happens because your nervous system gets conditioned to respond only to that intense stimulus, neglecting the subtle, varied sensations crucial for natural arousal. But the key takeaway isn't just identifying the problem. It's understanding that you have the power to address it. By consciously changing your masturbation habits, introducing variety in touch, pressure, and speed, focusing on the sensitive glands and frenulum, reducing intensity, maybe adjusting frequency, and incorporating mental arousal, you can begin to retrain your nervous system. It takes time and effort, sure, but your body is resilient and capable of adapting. Remember, improving erectile function after 60 isn't just about one thing. It's a holistic approach. It's not just about changing a habit. It's also about building a strong foundation of overall health. That means nourishing your body with a heart-healthy diet, keeping your blood flowing with regular exercise, managing the stress in your life, and getting enough quality sleep. These lifestyle factors are incredibly powerful allies in supporting healthy circulation and overall well-being, both of which are fundamental to erectile function. And please, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor. They are your partner in health and can help identify any underlying issues or discuss treatment options that might be right for you. This journey is about empowering yourself, taking control of your health, and understanding that age doesn't automatically mean the end of sexual vitality. Small, consistent changes in your habits and lifestyle can lead to significant improvements in your ability to get hard and, more importantly, in your confidence and overall quality of life. You are absolutely capable of making these changes and seeing positive results. Don't let frustration or embarrassment hold you back. This is a common challenge, and addressing it openly and proactively is a sign of strength. Try implementing some of the changes we've discussed. Be patient, be persistent, and be kind to yourself throughout the process. I hope this conversation has been helpful and perhaps opened your eyes to a potential factor you hadn't considered before. If you found this information valuable, please give the video a like. It helps more men who might be struggling with this issue find this information. And I'd love to hear your thoughts or any experiences you're comfortable sharing in the comments below. It can be incredibly helpful for others to see they're not alone. Also, consider subscribing to the channel for more insights and practical advice on living a healthy, fulfilling life at any age. Remember, it's never too late to make positive changes and live your best life at every age.